Let's talk about the political goonism, excuse me, that is going on in the country right now. This is just pure goonism at this point. I mean, we have got just outright political thuggery, but it doesn't surprise me. A book that you can read, well, you ain't got to read it. You can listen to the audio book right here on YouTube. I think her name is Naomi Klein. The name of the book is Shock Doctrine. If you want to really find out just how crazy and fucked up the government is, you listen to that audio book, Shock Doctrine. Like the first 30 minutes of it starts out in New Orleans, but she gets into it. But anyways, Trump has had his house invaded, right? And the whole system of control is completely active. Okay, I think that they would only do this if they know that the general public is ignorant. And I will say this also, the prosecution of Donald Trump and Alex Jones and the mentioning of it in the news media, because you got to keep in mind, man, excuse me, I'm a bit hoarse, but there's stuff that goes on all the time and it's not talked about. Politicians go to jail. Politicians get acquitted of major crimes, even in the celebrity world. Like you always hear me talk about the lawsuits with Charlie Sheen, with there being nearly 40 women with lawsuits against him for giving them HIV. But who's the face of bad celebrity behavior? R. Kelly has been sentenced for sleeping with underage people for the 10th time. I mean, they mentioned yesterday that R. Kelly was sentenced again. I'd be like, how many times they gonna sentence R. Kelly? I mean, R. Kelly is done. It's over. But why do they do that? That stuff like that should point out to this. The mere fact that they would even show that they're invading Donald Trump's house should let you know what time it is. This is a decimation of right-wing or American conservatism. Donald Trump is he's just the symbol, the symbolism. That's it. He's just the symbol. And look at Alex Jones. He's the symbol of people who even though it's easy to focus on just Alex Jones, because he's a wild-eyed guy with his voice and whatnot, and, tinfoil hat, etc. But he's a symbol of people who don't just take it at surface value, or people who think that there's something else up to it. I can link you, you ain't got to sit there and listen to my country-ass voice to I think it's a 6 to 8 hour documentary over at Odyssey. I think that used to be Library. I think it's called Odyssey now. Man, a really good channel over there. And it literally talks about how Thomas Jefferson incorporated conspiracy into the Constitution. But people don't know that. The average American, if you walk up to them and gave them a map of the state that they're living in, they couldn't identify where they were. So you aren't going to even know that things like conspiracy are literally written in the Constitution. And that the implementation of the term conspiracy theory, most people would tell you, yeah, it did happen during the 60s, but it more specifically happened during the Warren Commission after JFK was killed. Basically, everybody was trying to figure out what the hell happened, who did it, why. Was the story that the government was giving them true? Because, according to the government, Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK because he was trying to impress his girlfriend. The leader of the free world was killed by a man who was trying to impress his girlfriend. Despite the fact that the Pentagon generals hated and despised JFK, you also had an element of the Protestant church who hated him also because he was Catholic. But, and then there was the 60s. And see, JFK was Trump. And I know that you specifically say, look, that's ridiculous. JFK and Trump are not the same. No. you don't get what I'm saying on a bigger level. These politicians are just symbols. They're just indicators of people. And by killing and battering them, like, for example, look at this channel. Look at this channel right here. What is this? This is YouTube. This is an idea of a person. But just look at all the control mechanisms that you have now. You can have videos blocked. You can have algorithms controlled. You can have channels deleted, comments deleted. Why is that? The government simply sees that this is something that the citizens are mass migrating to. And if people knew any better, they would yell, we can create platforms and shit, and y'all can stay the fuck away. You don't got the right to come in here and start dictating and implementing. Like when they implemented the chopper laws, get the fuck out of here. That's straight government control. They came in and said, look, that's too big of a voice, too much communication. We don't like that. Basically, I'm going to keep it real with you. People need to know how to implement the Constitution in the cyber world, because I'm going to tell you what that is. It's a violation of our freedom of assembly. Coming up in here and implementing this stuff where you now control videos and all, that's a violation of freedom of assembly, but people don't know no better. And that's how you can get a former president taken off Twitter and raided by the FBI. What is Twitter? Boom, bam, yet again. Same thing. It's a private platform created by the citizens for mass communication on several topics. And the very second that people start talking politics, wham, they come in there and they will generate any reason whatsoever to get rid of your channel, to terminate you, whatever. You ain't talking right. Get down, citizen. No. Y'all are not going to be mass gathering up on YouTube. You're not going to be mass gathering on Twitter. You are not going to be assembling anywhere. 6 feet apart, everybody. Put a mask on your face. Stop talking. But people don't know no better. And people that are gleeful over this, you stupid. You stupid. But I'm going to tell it to you like this. And I'm going to say this. Here's the key people to look for. Republicans. Look at the silence. And look at the coverage of Fox News. They can't even try to pretend to be a right-wing platform. And one more thing I want to say is this right here. You always hear me say, imagine if I created, better yet, think about the video game, right? Because I love the video game Mortal Kombat, right? There's a character in the video game named Noob Smoke. And Noob Smoke, if you know about video games, is like this black character. He's like a black ninja ghost of some type. And one of his infamous things that he does is that he knows how to project a false image of himself before you so that you strike at the false image. And that's what wokeism and all that stuff is. All that anti-gay and, like liberals of TikTok, they just get you to look at the weird people, the queer people, and here goes a political package of things for you to argue over. Okay, hijabs, abortion, and here's who's got this disease, or what should we call this disease? Oh, these people believe that we should always be sensitive and violate our freedom of speech. And see, they aren't going to talk about you should fight for freedom of speech on electronic platforms like you should be doing. No, you should fight for the right to be able to say it was a bunch of dirty niggas in Africa who started that monkeypox virus. Okay, I know the Chinese are protected people and we couldn't go there with them, but it was niggers in the Congo who are spreading that shit with their irresponsible animal sex. And I have a right to say it, and ain't nothing but a bunch of woggity woke Black Lives Matter people gonna try to make me be quiet. See, that's how they got you politically wired up. You're winning victories swinging at Noob Smoke's shadow. In the meantime, Joe Biden is gonna give the IRS $80 billion over the course of the next decade to get all up in our pockets. Trust me, everybody is about to be audited. But anyways, I'm going to let you go over there and try to find the woke person who is fighting for some black girl who you don't care about rights to get an abortion in Atlanta, a city you wish would turn white. Anyways, Donald Trump was raided. This is all part of a big giant political scheme to get rid of the right wing. It's an operation. And I'm just keeping it real with you. The Democrats ain't no better. Like, everything you hate the Republicans for, they're doing it now. Ilhan Omar and AOC are giving money to Ukraine and voting for more and more legislation that gets more and more the Pentagon budget. That's all big. You know, all of them are voting for that. There's no resistance whatsoever. And what they do is just like that lady did up there in Baltimore or Maryland. They come out to stand on their hands and pop their cheeks in front of their constituents. That's just how big of a joke y'all are. There's nothing else to say. I mean, there's nothing else to say. Yeah, Trump is just the battering ram. He's just the punching bag. That's it, man. It ain't about him. I'm telling you, he's JFK. Just like they couldn't stand, the deep state couldn't stand JFK because he was a symbol of the people. It ain't about Trump and JFK. They really are attacking the people. And that trial where you got the arm twisting of Alex Jones, I ain't never seen no shit like that. Just taking a damn radio talk show host who you don't have to listen to. And like I said, YouTube is a private citizens created platform. And here you got Alex Jones about 2 or 3 years ago kicked off of it. But we just sit back and let them do this. And they have no right to do it, but we just sitting back. But I'm going to just go ahead and shut this video down, man. This stuff is unprecedented, bro. Unprecedented. I'm out.